Alright, if this is your first time replacing the thermocouple, safety thermocouple on your burner, you won't have this little part right here. This is just, I guess, a connector. So what you'll want to do is snip the original wires about right here, and then you're going to want to expose a little bit of the wire. See how this yellow wire right there is a little bit exposed? So the goal is just to replace the two wires that are currently in there, and I'm going to have to feed the thermocouple up. And then after we get those wires connected right there, I'm going to lift forward the drum, tilt the drum forward, and position the thermocouple where it needs to be. And all we do, it's just use a little tiny flathead screwdriver to get those the old thermocouple out. The next thing you're going to want to do, if you have a older model, like one of the first gen or 1.5 gen models, your thermocouple is going to be mounted differently. Mine is actually mounted more in towards the burner, and I think that's why my thermocouples failed a couple times on me, just because it's too far in the flame. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to take this out, which you can see it's already disconnected. I'm going to take it out, and then I'm going to not put it as far into the flame as I have been doing, and it just screws on with a little, there's a little threaded, which is kind of hard to see. Here, I'll show you on this one. There's a little, there it is, that kind of threads it on to that fitting. Here's a pro tip: flashlight up against the burner actually keeps this to where you can have it propped up, and you can turn this little piece right here to get the old thermocouple off. It's a little easier to do when I grip it with my other hand, but I just wanted to show you. That's a good way to keep the drum tilted forward. Here's the old thermocouple. It's a little curved and black. And here's a new one. Something I just thought about doing was putting this little piece on here right before I try to reposition the brand new thermocouple. This is the old, I guess, nut that I took off the old burn up thermocouple. And what this is going to do is help me position it to where I want it exactly in the flame, you know, just a little bit of the tip of this in the flame. I'll show you once I get it mounted. Alright, so what you're seeing here is I use the old nut behind the little clamp and the new nut to where it's in the front. And I want this thermocouple only just slightly into the burner, like how I got it. And I left it just loose enough to where I can reposition these wires. Sorry, I don't have a tripod set up. To where I feed the wires through this first set of hole, or this first hole right here. And then I'm gonna flip the roaster back on its side and connect it. Alright, so now we got the new thermocouple installed. One thing I like to try to do, make sure the yellow wire and the silver wire don't touch each other. I've had it before where they've fused together and that caused the thermocouple to fail. Other than that, just make sure that these 2 points don't come unplugged. I'd hate to get everything set up and then come to find out something simple came unplugged. Make sure your wires are tight and they're not going anywhere in this little adapter piece that connects them. You know, you'd hate for a wire to pop out and then you'd have to unhook your gas and do all this again. And while you're under here, just make sure, you know, your jet is right where it was before. You know, just inspect little things. It's a lot higher flame than I'm used to seeing. I don't know if it's going to go down or what. I can't even see the thermocouple that I installed. It's so far back compared to how it was before. But from what I can tell, it looks like it's going pretty well. Yep. So the thermocouple's in a farther back position. Might be able to see it. Nope, can't see it from that side. These are the new air duct screws. I guess these are going to be shipping with the new models. Yep, there goes mine. I'll find it in a second. But anyway, makes it a little easier. It just slips. Leave these just loose enough to where this will slip on. And it just goes right on there. Pretty straightforward. That's how you change your safety thermocouple. Thanks for watching.